Hi there, in this video I'll be talking about solving linear equations in one variable. We'll be finding out the value of the variable that satisfies the equation. Let's first try to understand what do we mean by a linear equation. So any expression that can be written in the form ax plus b equal to 0 is linear equation. So here we have one variable which is x and a and b are integers. So we'll be trying to find the value of x that satisfies the equation. Here are the examples of linear equations in one variable. You can see 3 examples are there, and for each equation we have different values of a and b. These are the integer values and x is the variable here. Have a look at the first example. We have x plus 10 equal to 15. So this is a simple equation where looking at the equation you can say x has to be 5. But we need to understand how algebra works so that later when it gets complicated we should be able to do it with confidence. So here the purpose would be to keep x on one side and integers on the other side. So here you can notice 10 is being added to x. So we need to choose the opposite operation. What we do is we subtract 10 from both the sides. When we do that, on the left hand side plus 10 and minus 10 they get cancelled because of the opposite signs. So on the left hand side we are left with x. On the right hand side we do that 15 minus 10. That gives us 5. So x equal to 5 is the solution for the given equation. In our next example, we have x minus 25 equal to 75. We need to find the value of x that satisfies the equation. So here again the purpose is to get x on one side and integers on the other side. So here you can notice 25 is being subtracted from x. So we need to choose the opposite operation. So we add 25 to both the sides. When we do that, on the left hand side we are left with x because minus 25 plus 25 they get cancelled. So on the right hand side we have 75 plus 25. So finally we get x equal to 100, which is the solution for the given equation. In our next example we have 6x equal to 96. Here 6 is being multiplied by x. So we need to divide both the sides by 6 because we need to choose the inverse operation. When we do that, we get 6x divided by 6 equal to 96 divided by 6. On the left hand side, we are left with x because 6 gets cancelled. And on the right hand side, we have 96 by 6 that gives us 16. So x equal to 16 is the solution to the given equation. In our next example, we have x by 15 equal to 4. So here x is being divided by 15. Again we go for the inverse operation. So we multiply both the sides by 15. So we have x by 15 times 15 equal to 4 times 15. So on the left hand side 15 gets cancelled and we are left with x equal to 4 times 15, giving us x equal to 60. That's the solution to the given equation. In our next example, we have 4 times x plus 12 equal to 6 times x plus 5. So you can see the brackets here. So first step would be to open the brackets. When we open the brackets, on the left hand side, each term of the bracket is to be multiplied by 4. And on the right hand side, each term of the bracket is to be multiplied by 6. Now the next step is to keep the variables on one side and integers on the other side. So what we do is we rewrite the equation. We write it as 48 minus 30 equal to 6x minus 4x. You can see here 30 becomes negative here because it's changing side. So whenever it changes side, we change the sign also. So in the same way 4x is becoming negative when it goes to the other side. So we can conclude here changing side changes the signs also. Plus becomes minus. So when we solve it further, we get 18 equal to 2x. Then we divide both the sides by 2. We get x equal to 9. So x equal to 9 is the solution to the given equation. In our next example, we have x plus 5 divided by 3 equal to 2 times 3x plus 10 divided by 3. Here you can notice here the denominators are the same on both the sides. So in the next step, what we do is we just open the brackets on the right hand side. So we get x plus 5 divided by 3 equal to 6x plus 20 divided by 3. Because on the right hand side in the numerator, we are multiplying each term of the bracket by 2. So next step would be to get rid of the denominator because denominators are the same. So we can simply equate the numerators here. So we get x plus 5 equal to 6x plus 20. This point is important. So you need to understand if the denominators are the same, you can get rid of the denominators and simply equate the numerators. Now the next step would be to keep the numbers on one side and the variables on the other side. When we do that, we get 5 minus 20 equal to 6x minus x. Remember, changing side would change the sign also. When we simplify further, we get minus 15 equal to 5x. Now dividing both the sides by 5, we get minus 3 equal to x. So x equal to minus 3 is the solution to the given equation. In our next example, we have x plus 2 divided by 4 equal to x plus 5 divided by 3. We need to solve, means we need to get the value of x here. And we can see here the denominators are different here. So first step would be to make the denominators same. For that, on the left hand side, we multiply and divide by 3. And on the right hand side, we multiply and divide by 4. We are making the denominators same on both the sides. Next step would be to open the brackets on both the sides. So we multiply each term of the bracket on the left hand side by 3. And we multiply each term of the bracket on the right hand side by 4. So here we are just simplifying the numerators. When we do that, and now our denominators are the same. So now it's time to get rid of the denominators. We can simply equate the numerators. When we do that, we get 3x plus 6 equal to 4x plus 20. Now the next step would be to have the numbers on one side and the variables on the other side. When we do that, we get 6 minus 20 equal to 4x minus 3x. Remember, changing side would mean change of sign as well. So we get minus 14 equal to x. So x equal to minus 14 is the solution for the given equation. Next step is to check your answer. So we can always check our answer whether what we did was correct or not. So here we will substitute for x to check if it works in the equation or not. So we put x equal to minus 14 as we got that to be the solution for the given equation. When we do that and we simplify, we get minus 3 on both the sides. You can see here after simplification. So because you are getting the same answers on both the sides, that means what you did was correct. In case you don't get the same number on both the sides, you need to check your working. So this step is important because it helps you to submit your answer with confidence. So for each question, you can always check. How do we check? We just substitute the value of x and see if it works in the equation. See after substituting whether you get the same number on both the sides or not. If not, just redo it. Let's now review how do we solve the equations. So first step would be to isolate the variables, and secondly you must apply opposite or inverse operations depending upon the given equation, and thirdly checking your answer is very important. I hope by now you are clear about how to solve the equations, the linear equations in one variable. In case you have a question, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you. Have a good day.